Hey y'all, I'm your host, Aaron Smith of the Offshore Marine Service Association. Each Friday, I'll bring you the Offshore Briefing, a quick rundown of the week's notable developments, updates, and news you need to know in the offshore space. Whether you're on deck or at your desk, we're glad you're here. Welcome everyone to another episode of Maritime in America, the Offshore Briefing. I am your host, as always, Aaron Smith. Great to talk to you all again. And as always, I have my co-host, Ashley Smith and Angel Johnson. How are y'all doing?
Just great. This isn't as fun as it was last week, though.
Yeah, doing well, but yeah, last week was better.
Not better as in we were so busy, but the podcast was fun.
Well, now that we proved the concept that we can just put a laptop somewhere and record a podcast,
Everyone
get
should be
ready.
very worried by that because we will, if I didn't prove anything, I will come find you and make you come on.
Yeah. Yeah, we are now the reporter, like the roving reporter. We always live. No, that was I will yes, that was a good idea by me to do that.
Anyway, proceed, old man, proceed.
All right, I'm going first this week.
I mean, I'll go first. I'll update everyone. Unfortunately, we did not get our three-legged dog.
Yeah, apparently we're not good enough for three-legged dogs. Like
So,
three-legged dogs are too good for us.
three-legged dogs with heartworms.
Can't believe this.
So then, filled out another application with another rescue, and let me just tell you, it took me a solid hour to do it, and the stuff I had to put down was crazy. It might be harder to adopt a dog than a kid. Now I just got a text that we have a FaceTime home visit with the whole family has to be there, and they want to interview us, and they also want to interview our pets, which Maisie and I think it's hysterical. We're gonna put like, what do you think about getting a dog and see what the cats say? Um, but super exciting. So everyone cross your fingers.
This is ridiculous.
No,
Wait,
it's so exciting. And it's for
we are
two.
interviewing for a rescue animal.
Yes, that's gonna change our life and complete it. It's for two dogs. It's for a boy lab mix that's 4 months old and for a 7-year-old wiener dog named Penny.
You've lost your mind.
I know. Well, it's keeping me sane because I'm very bah humbug today. I want to murder everyone. So focusing all my energy on adopting dogs is keeping me happy. Because other than that, I would legit rip everyone's heads off.
All right.
You're
So
welcome. So the moral of the story is everyone cross their fingers that our home visit goes good Sunday.
our interview
Yes, our interview, and we're going to dress cute and we're going to be as normal as we can be.
and
And all
apparently our
and the
cats
kids and our cat.
our cats are being interviewed too.
Correct. And both the girls have to be there, and yeah, I guess I'll have to clean up since we don't have a maid anymore, which is a whole nother story that I think isn't appropriate to get
No,
on to in the
no.
podcast. Okay. All right. I'll pass it on before I get in more trouble.
All right. Well, let me for my episode this week, I want to go because when this came out, I didn't have time to focus on it. And it was in Friday Fast Facts, but it was kind of buried, and it's so good that it needs to be presented. And there's a colleague that we've worked with. His name is Captain Alan Bernstein. He used to be the PVA president, runs his own riverboat company, B&B Riverboats, out of Cincinnati. I've always just really appreciated his insights. And he had an article earlier called Inspecting the Inspectors. And it just really was, I really liked his perspective. And so I just think that everyone should go back, find that. Again, it's a op-ed in Workboat, called Inspecting the Inspectors. Great perspective, and everyone should read it. It's just about Coast Guard inspections. And he says, I have witnessed a gradual transformation in the experience level and demeanor of Coast Guard inspectors over the years. What was once a professional relationship steeped in respect and grounded in knowledge and capabilities of both parties, has in many cases turned into a combative and mistrustful standoff. Preach, brother Allen. Preach. Completely agree. Hear this way too many times. And I'm sure Ashley and Angel, as you have spoken with our members, you have heard this as well too, correct?
Yes. But again, I feel like you hear more of this than I do, which I wish I knew more. I wish they would kind of talk with me about this more, but yeah, it's really good to hear that.
Yeah. And he goes on and says, today it seems that too many Coast Guard inspectors are inexperienced and arrive for inspection with an adversarial attitude. While there are still many experienced inspectors in the ranks, I'm concerned about the future and urge Coast Guard to strengthen its training program. I also encourage Coast Guard to invite members of industry to participate, sharing their knowledge and viewpoints with the inspectors to promote goodwill and broaden their training experience. And here's why I always like Captain Allen too, is says at the same time, mariners must take responsibility by approaching each inspector with a positive attitude and a thorough knowledge of the applicable regulations. As in the maritime industry, the Coast Guard continue to evolve. It is important not to lose sight of the principles that have guided us for many years, honoring the mariner and working together with trust and respect. Just great article. Really wanted to highlight that. And apologies to Captain Allen that it's taken me so long to get to this, because it really is a great perspective and just something that I think we needed to look at.
Also, agree with you, but also we need to look at the rescue website for the dogs still.
We're done with Ashley tidbits now. We're on to real business. So, Angel, did you have anything this week you saw interesting?
Yes. So I saw that the National Maritime Center announced three upcoming quote unquote enhancements for the mariners. It's going to be coming next year, and it's a new and improved website, which is pretty much a more user friendly website. An application submission portal, so mariners can now submit the MMC application, MC medical credential application, and also medical certificates will now be delivered via email. And we previously mentioned on the episode about one of our members, MMCs. They actually put out a article in the Work Build about this the same time the announcement from the National Maritime Center came out about the new application process for January. And if you have not heard of MMCs,
He's an
they
OMSA member, Nate Gilman.
yes.
I'm some member Nate Gilman.
Yes, they have already had software that helped mariners process these or get these applications ready for process. So I would highly check out the National Maritime Center, but also the article in Workboat from Nate Gilman at MMCs.
Yeah. I mean, I think one, applause to the National Maritime Center for making this easier, right? But I think it is important, and Nate kind of gets to this point, and I completely agree with his point. Who are we making this easier for? Are we making this easier for the National Maritime Center personnel to review applications and get their job done? Or are we making this easier for mariners? I think both are important. Obviously, if MMC or if, excuse me, National Maritime Center staffers have an easier job, they can presumably process more applications, which means mariner applications are processed quicker, right? I mean, it's a pretty good presumption there. I'm not saying it exactly how it's going to happen, but pretty good presumption. That makes sense. But also, we should make it easier for the customer, for the mariner. The National Maritime Center is paid for by the tax dollars of these mariners. Let's make it easy for them, not just, hey, let's make it easy for the people reviewing the applications. That's great. Understand. Cool. But let's also make it for the mariner easy. Make that, and then they'll be able to put in better information and they'll be better served by their government, which is, I think, what we all want. So I did see that, and I really liked Nate's perspective there and thought it was important. Um, so I think that was some good things there. But I think, and again, applause to the National Maritime Center for making. But let's make sure that we're let's make sure we keep our eyes on the mission here. The mission is to make sure we're making this easier for American mariners, not making everything go smoothly for government workers who can just, as Nate says, um, allows you to upload a mistake faster. That's not a good place to be. So I like that. That was a good catch there. Um, so I have one more, but I'll give you all a chance. Anything else you want to talk about?
Nope, I think you've exhausted it.
Hey,
Me,
um,
no, sir.
all right. Well, I saw something recently and I really liked it. I thought it was cool to see. Um, who knows what thruster bias is? Has anyone ever seen thruster bias?
I know what both of those words mean, but not together.
This doesn't mean a this doesn't mean thrusters that um don't like don't like working with men or don't like working with women or don't like you know that have a personal bias against someone. That's not what this means. Thruster bias is kind of a cool thing. I saw some video of it and thought that maybe people outside of our industry don't know what this is. Have you all ever seen a picture of an OSV and that you can see the thruster wash, the white water coming out of the side of the vessel?
Yes.
So when you have azimuthine thrusters, those are the thrusters that can spin in 360 degrees. What you will do is you will point them sideways out to each side, then they're pushing against each other, and it helps make the vessel stay in one position easier because then the left thruster is pushing against the right thruster is pushing against the left thruster, makes it easier to stay in one place. So I saw a video of that and just thought that maybe that are some of our listeners that aren't engaged in the maritime industry and are here for Ashley's tidbits more.
I was about to
Uh,
say, I think you just nerded out for all of us. But I have one more tidbit before we sign off.
is it? I every time you have a tidbit, I get another animal, so I don't like
No,
this.
no, no. I have a better tidbit. Are you ready for it?
Yeah, let's hear this.
Aaron, the cat pooped in your bed again, and yeah, and like also, so we may or may not have to put in adoption papers for like 5 big dogs, and we may or
And a
may not,
ferret,
yeah, and a ferret, and a finny goat, and a monkey,
a
I
fainting
thought
goat.
we all
and
agreed that we were not putting Maisie on the
and
podcast.
we may have, and we may have got accepted for all of them.
That was my tidbit. You're welcome, world. Welcome to the grind of our 12-year-old.
We're totally cutting this part out.
Wait, no, please.
Hey,
Note to the editor.
Maisie, you got to be nice to Miss Angel. Miss Angel does the
I'm
editing.
Miss Angel.
Hello.
I want to be on the
Great,
podcast. I want to be on
great.
the podcast.
All right, you got to get our listeners up, Maisie. You got to send this to all your friends.
Okay.
Go follow me on TikTok.
All
Alrighty.
right. Thank you, everyone,
Gotta add myself.
for
All right.
joining in.
Have a good
Uh,
weekend.
Take care. Be safe.
Bye.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
That wraps up another episode of Maritime in America. We're proud to highlight the voices and stories that keep the American offshore industry strong. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us, and remember, the course ahead is shaped by those who step up and steer it. If you liked what you heard, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your crew. Tune in every Friday for your offshore briefing, and don't miss our next full episode, dropping soon with the very special guest, Mariner's Perspective. Catch you next time.